Hi everyone, welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. Today we are playing with Valentine's Day past. We're going to be playing, well, is this Valentine's Day? This might be considered maybe like oh, I had the word on the tip of my tongue, like anti-Valentine's Day in a way. Because I wouldn't even consider this Galentine's Day, to be fair. Do they have a boys like Galentine's Day? Do guys have anything? Men's Day? I don't know. Anywho, we got the X's and O's by ColourPop. I wasn't for sure if this would be considered Valentine's Day, but I mean, the color story definitely goes for anti Valentine's Day with the dark and vampy maroon colors. But I can also see Valentine's. There's some pinkies, maroon type colors, neutrals. All right, maybe I'm stretching, but we're going to play with it. Because here's the thing, I never played with this palette, so I don't even know if it's still available. But the first shade we're going to go into is Fortunate, which is this shade right here. I actually kind of like this palette, to be fair. I like the covering and I like the color story. I do think it's more warm leaning than what I'm used to now, but I can see why probably I purchased this palette when I did, because it would have been right up my alley, other than it kind of goes a little bit darker than what I was used to then. Now it's perfect as far as that goes. I don't think it's like, it's not too warm for me. Like, it's fine, but it is a little bit like I have really been enjoying neutrals, but this isn't, like I said, too warm. It's still, I would say, on the vampy side, and it's kind of a nice palette, to be fair. Kind of was really enjoying the mattes. They're really pretty and easy to use and blendable and pigmented, and they make a nice gradient effect, like the whole 9 yards, to be fair. I was really pleased, which is where I expect ColourPop to be fair. We're going to go into Stay Golden, which is this shade right here, and it's like a pinky shade. And these are the like mattes that I'm used to for ColourPop, right? The metallics aren't that metallic. I would say they're probably more satin. Well, they could be become, if you used your finger or sprayed your brush, maybe, actually, some of them. But I will say that their formula for their metallics are usually better now. But the mattes, phenomenal. We're going to go into Realness now, which is this one. So, I really don't have any stories. I was hoping I could come up with like a story to go with this palette, like from an ex or something, but I really don't have any. Like a bad Valentine's Day story or anything. I mean, I've been with my same partner now for almost 15 years, so Valentine's Day isn't like, it is special, obviously, but you know, when you're with someone, every day's Valentine's Day in a way, you know. Or maybe you don't know, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Because maybe it's not. Maybe every day isn't supposed to be. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, because I hear people saying that all the time. And in a way, I understand it. Like, it makes sense, obviously. You're with your partner, you love them all the time. But then I feel like Valentine's Day is a point to make that day for you, you know, because life can get in the way. We all know that. Kids, life, work, anything in general can get in between you and your partner, you know. So I feel like that's kind of or the start of new relationships even. But for ones that have been existing, I feel like it is like another day. But I do think that it shouldn't be taken for granted, probably, now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, not that I do, but, when thinking about hearing people talking about it that's been in relationships for a long period of time, I think it is nice to have that day that no matter what, you'll reconnect or regroup together or something. Okay. Now we're going to take the shade Sidetracked, which is definitely me most of the time. The shade right here. And I'm just going to pop that all over the lid. I didn't get any fallout with this either, which was nice. I would say this palette's pretty easy to use, pretty self-explanatory. You have a couple of different ways of going about creating the look and just having a look in general, which is fun. I do like that. But yeah, now that I've played with it, I wouldn't necessarily think Valentine's Day, although, this is a pretty representation of Valentine's Day, I guess. But I would say it's definitely more of a vampy anti-Valentine's Day, probably. If I was guessing. I could be completely off track. We're going to, obviously, considering it's X's and O's, that's, probably not. No better. Don't we wish we all? We're going to go into that shade now. And I'm going to put that in the inner corner. Like, I believe that things are supposed to happen for a reason, If things don't work out, they just don't work out. For whatever the reason. Lessons learned, whatever it is, right? It's not meant to be. Although I do believe in working, to not just to give up and like the grass is greener on the other side type of thing. Like, I don't agree with that. But I do agree, that it sucks, but there's a time and a place to, sometimes you just have to let go. We're going to go into Reckless now, this darkest shade. I will say this is a pretty dark shade. So if you really wanted to go even darker, you could. But I think nowadays people give up before they even get started, too. At least that's what I'm seeing and watching. People just giving up. And I'm not all. And maybe there's a reason too, don't get me wrong. I really like this color to line with. It's a nice dark. It's like a red brown almost. Goes really well with this palette. And I'm actually wearing some other things on my face that I haven't worn in a while. So I'm going to go over that in a minute. That's nice because, like I said, pretty sure never played with this palette because it don't look like there's any intentions or anything until now. And I'm glad I did because I actually like this palette. It is a pretty palette. Do I have this color story? Sure. But it doesn't take away from the palette being pretty. And at the time, I probably didn't have this color story, to be fair, too. For the waterline, so we're done with the palette as far as the eyes go. For the waterline, I used the Fake Awake. And then for the rest of the face today, I pulled out my L'Oreal Pro Glow in 203. This is a little dark now. I've hit winter. But I've been playing with that CoverGirl, and I wanted to give this a break because I got to get my thoughts on it. For bronzer, I pulled out my Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess in O2 Suggestive. Should suggested. Yeah, suggestive. Can't talk today, y'all. Can't talk. And it looks like this. This is a really pretty bronzer. It is more yellow bronzy, but it's not too yellow, but it is on the yellowy side. And then for blush, I have a sample of this here. It's the Bounce and Blur in Bare Minerals. This one is called Mauve Sunrise, and kind of does blur. It is pretty. I like the color, and it does blur. Fascinating. I never even paid attention to it. And then for highlighter, I pulled out the Pat McGrath new highlighter in the Nude Opal, and that's what I'm wearing today as highlighter. So very pretty, which I love it. And then for lips, I'm wearing also the new lipstick, the Nude Nocturne, the darker shade. And oh, it's so pretty, you all. So pretty, the embossing on it. And then the lip liner I'm wearing is Estee Lauder again. I'm wearing the Brick, which I wore the other day. I forgot I had this, as you can see, because it's fairly big. I really like the Lancome, the Rose. But this color, I like it in a lot of different ways, whether it's built up to its opaque color. It's really pretty, like it is now. Or it's almost, you can really fade it in. And it's like a light, almost like a, I don't know, like a contour even for your lips maybe. But there was somebody I was watching that said that there's a better shade for that. And I don't know who that is. And I don't know the color. So I got to go look at those because I'm curious on that. Okay, for mascara, I'm just going to use the Sephora sample I have in Big by Definition. For the lashes, I think I said Waterline was the Tarte Fake Awake. And then I set everything, the outer perimeter, with my Pat McGrath. And I set the under eye and T-zone with Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finishing Powder. You know, these eyelashes on this eye look so much better than my other eye, and I don't know why. I'd use a lash serum, but I feel like the lashes on this side come in so much faster, longer, and thicker than my other eye, and I don't know why. Like, I put the same amount, you know what I mean? But for some reason, these lashes on this eye, I feel like just look always better. Maybe that's because this is my good side. I have questions about that too. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately. We're just going to use this for bottom lashes too. You know how people say, oh, get my good side? I'm like, what's my good side? What's that? What's that? Because I think both sides are the same. Neither one's that good. But I'm like, for real, what, like, do people really have good and bad sides? And what makes them good and bad? And is it just your own eyes that determine the good and bad? Or is there really a good and bad? I'm curious. Gotta know. Because I don't. Because I feel like either way, it's the same. Mind you, I do have astigmatism. And I don't have the best of vision. So maybe that's it. I don't know. I just don't see a difference. And I need to dermaplane really bad. I did notice that today while I was doing my makeup. Need to get that done soon. Along with dyeing my hair. Cutting it too. Y'all, I have no idea what I want to do with this hair. I know it needs to go because I'm getting headaches. And it's like that's usually when I cut. You know, I usually find it's usually every 2 to maybe 3 years I have to cut my hair, right? If unless I find a style I really like. And I just haven't found anything that I'm really like in love with, you know what I mean? So it's like, why cut it off if there's no reason? But there's a reason, even if it is just to get it to my shoulders, just to stop the headaches for a while. But I want a hairstyle. I want something. I just don't know what. And then you know how you see things and you think they look good, and they do, but they look good on that person. They're not going to look as good as you on you, and you know it. So it's like, I'm not even going to attempt that one. You know what I mean? And then I have to look for, is it going to be easy enough to take care of? You know, because I'm always running, or I'm always doing something, or I'm always running behind. Anywho, what problems? Like, I don't even know why I'm complaining about these problems. These are so little of problems. But anyway, overall, I think my makeup turned out okay. I will say my face feels a little dry today, but I think it's because I used a different sunscreen and it felt matte, like going on, like after it went in and everything, like my skin felt matte. And it even kind of looked it, but I thought, so I think that's the reason, because that's Pro Glow, and that's usually not glowy, but not matte. It's almost like skin like satin almost, you know, type of thing. So I think that is why. But overall, I think it turned out really good. I have no issues. I had no issues with the colors. So I think this is a good ColourPop palette. I don't know how old this palette is. And again, I don't know if it's still available. But now I'm curious on what other people thought about this palette, either now or when it released. I've had this palette for quite a long time. Quite a long time. So, but yeah, I do like it. And I think the packaging is just perfect, really. Like, I think it's beautiful. And I think the shadows are really good in it, especially the mattes. The mattes are very creamy. Like, really creamy, which I find interesting because I don't remember them being this creamy in the other palettes I just used. But I will say the metallics are, you know what I mean? But even with that, I think this palette's worth it. I really do. So, that is all I have for you today. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all. That way you're notified when I upload. Let me know if you got this. Or if you had originally gotten it. Because like I said, it's old. You probably don't have it. And if they don't sell it anymore, you've probably decluttered it or used it. Because if that's, you know, one of your only palettes in your arsenal, you're going to use it. Unlike myself, who has way too many. I wouldn't even know what it'd be like to. I would love to have a palette. That's what I need to do. I need to pick a palette and be like, that is your everyday palette. Like, unless I'm reviewing something, you know, and use it throughout the year and see if I can even come close to in pan. Because I just don't think I could. But then I like to switch it up so much that I don't think I could use it. Like, I really do like to jump. I don't like to jump around as much as I do. Because I do have a lot. And I definitely don't need them all. But I don't know. I have been thinking about getting rid of all my Morphe palettes. Except my two Jaclyn Hills. Because I really do enjoy those. I mean, I know there's people's controversy. But I really do enjoy them. And their color story. So I like one for in the fall and winter and one for in the spring and summer. So I won't be getting rid of them. But the other ones, I'm kind of thinking I might want to get rid of. But anyway, that is all I have. I will let you go. And I will see you in the next one. Subscribe if I haven't said that. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.